Joining us now on the line to talk about today's primary elections is Georgia Senator John Ossoff. Senator Ossoff, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. Thank you so much for having me, and good morning, everybody. This is your Senator John Ossoff. It is my pleasure to serve you. You can always reach me at ossoff.senate.gov. And yeah, I was just listening to what you were just talking about. And here's what I was thinking I could do if it's okay with you. I think, people hear about the federal budget, and it's kind of this big mystery, big numbers, hundreds of billions of dollars. What does it mean at home, and why does it make a difference who's representing us? I prepared just a few things just to take folks through a spin through the federal budget and what it means at home tangibly to make it more relatable for folks. Could I do that?
Absolutely.
All right. So, folks, again, this is your Senator John Ossoff, and I just wanted to give you all a sense of what it means for you when folks who have your back are crafting this federal budget. Because the truth of the matter is that until you sent me and Reverend Warnock to the Senate in 2021, these budgets were getting written, and you were not on the minds of the people writing them. It makes a difference who represents us. The Congress has the power of the purse and decides where resources go. And so just in this budget that we've just passed, let me give you a few examples of things that we worked on and got into law. These are resources coming to Georgia for specific purposes. For example, more than $1 million going to Georgia State University to help Georgia State's College of Nursing and Health purchase a mobile health clinic that can expand healthcare services in underserved communities across Metro Atlanta and across Georgia. So this is a mobile medical clinic that will have exam rooms and seating for folks and exam and diagnostic equipment and the electronic medical record that can go out into the community and provide healthcare services. This is something that is now happening. These funds are on the way to Georgia State so they can buy that and they can field that mobile health clinic and get it out to communities across Metro Atlanta and across Georgia. Here's another example in the federal budget that we just passed. And again, everybody, this is your Senator John Ossoff. I was able to secure $1.2 million for Southern Regional Medical Center, one of the few surviving hospitals on the south side of town, to help Southern Regional establish a new sickle cell wellness treatment center. So these are funds that are going directly to Southern Regional Medical Center to help them expand services. When we've had hospitals closing for years and years, this is to help this hospital on the south side of town to expand services. Over $1 million federal dollars on the way to help them do that. Let me give you another example. We are delivering $500,000 for a new mobile mammography unit to be based in Marietta to help people get mammography services in and around Marietta. Those funds are on the way. Here's another example for you. $1 million on the way to East Point for stormwater infrastructure. It's not the kind of thing that leads the headlines, but if your house gets flooded because your part of the state didn't get infrastructure dollars, it makes a big difference. It matters whether your community has stormwater infrastructure. And for decades, the south side of Atlanta just did not get the federal and state investment that it needed. We are changing that. Over $1 million just for this one stormwater infrastructure project alone in East Point. And this is all just representative of much more work that we're doing to get resources and tangible investments into communities that have been denied investment for decades.
And on that, I think these are the amazing things that many of us talk about because we have this big conversation about tangibles and deliverables. How can we as members of the community better articulate to people who may not be as tuned in, may not listen to AM radio on election day, so that they can find out about the things that are actually being delivered and make more informed decisions when they're going to the polls? Because there's so much political spin, there's so much outside spending that many folks have no idea exactly what is being delivered to them by our elected officials.
Well, it really does take all of us to spread the word and to push back against the cynicism. I mean, the reason I wanted to share, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and again, this is your Senator John Ossoff. The reason I wanted to share these with you today, and these are just a few examples. I mean, we could have spent an hour talking about all of the things that Senator Warnock and I are delivering across the state of Georgia in just this federal budget. The reason I wanted to take the time to do that is because there is a spirit of cynicism that's so corrosive. You know, the folks who are working right now to attack voting rights, the folks who are plundering health care to cut taxes for the rich in corporate America, the folks who are waging endless war around the world while they build a golden ballroom for themselves. They want the people to feel cynical and disillusioned and like it doesn't make a difference who represents us. And it makes a big difference. I just walked through some of these specific investments in healthcare across Metro Atlanta that would not be coming except that Senator Warnock and I represent Georgia. Well, you know what else wouldn't have happened except that you elected us? We wouldn't have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. There's over 1 million diabetics in Georgia who can now count on getting their insulin for $35 a month or less because we made that the law. We made that the law because you elected us, and then we had the votes to pass that law. Just look at this endless corruption and chaos and war and record high prices right now. It's because the wrong people are in charge. It makes a difference who represents us, and it is my honor to represent you, the people of Georgia.
Absolutely. And with that, what do you think should be the number one issue that voters take with them as they enter the voting booth today on this primary election day? What should be the marching orders? If you were going to summarize the reason that people need to vote today, that people can tweet out, they can post on social media, they can call their friends, they can text out. What is the reason that people need to vote today?
Look, let me just boil this down to the simplest thing that we're debating in the country right now. They doubled health insurance premiums for more than 1 million Georgians so they could cut taxes for people who are already spectacularly wealthy and for the most profitable corporations in the country. That right there, you know, when this year alone, we have all-time record high prices for rent, groceries, healthcare, a meal out at a restaurant. And this administration decided that they were going to double your health insurance premiums and cut taxes for the very wealthiest people in corporate America. Could there be any clearer demonstration that the powers that be right now don't have your best interests at heart and we need a change? They, by the way, in order to try to prevent you from making that change, because you have been so powerful over the last decade, they are demolishing the towering achievements of the civil rights movement, gutting the Voting Rights Act, getting up to mischief, redrawing maps to try to remove black elected officials from office, not by defeating them at the polls, but through redistricting. They have made their intentions very clear, but in my opinion, and we're seeing this right now in the turnout, because there is record-shattering turnout right now. Anyone who says that folks are disillusioned and staying home isn't looking at the numbers. People are voting in record numbers right now, because I think that the people's answer to this corruption is going to be deafening, and it will be a rebuke that will echo down for decades. So the people, I think, are doing what the people must do. Ultimately, it is up to the people, and I encourage everybody, if you've not yet made a plan to vote, if you've not yet voted, whether you're voting for me or one of the other candidates, no matter which party you're affiliated with, today is Election Day. It is the last time to make your voice heard, and our democracy flourishes when everybody participates.
Well, thank you so much, Senator Ossoff. We really appreciate all the wisdom and insight and letting people know that our elected officials are indeed delivering for us. It's time for us to deliver for them by turning out to the polls on Election Day. Thank you so much, Senator Ossoff, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. And everybody, it's ossoff.senate.gov whenever you need assistance from my office.
Thank you so much. Senator John Ossoff, Senator for Georgia, joining us on the line to encourage all of you to get out and vote on this Election Day, primary Election Day.